Hey, adrenaline junkies, welcome back. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most intense police chases ever caught on dashcam and bodycam. High speeds, split-second decisions, and shocking endings you won't believe are real. Buckle up, this is pure chaos in motion.
On January 25th, 2024, Florida Highway Patrol probably thought they were pulling over just another truck on the turnpike. But sitting inside that Silverado were three men who had already spent way too much time on the wrong side of the law. The driver Barbosa was walking on thin ice with probation, and his buddies Montes and Reed carried their own stacks of convictions. Instead of stopping, they made the classic bad choice: hit the gas and see what happens. By the end of the day, the gamble failed. Barbosa, Reed, and Montes were booked into the Broward County Jail with no shortage of charges attached to their names. Barbosa's history with meth and marijuana only worsened his case. Reed's 8 prior felonies weighed heavily against him, and Montes stacked on new violent charges. What began as a chance to cooperate ended as another chapter in their already long criminal records. February 15th, 2024. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the highway as traffic rolled steadily along. But in that calm stream of cars, one blue SUV broke the rhythm, moving aggressively, cutting through lanes and forcing others aside. Arkansas State Police Trooper Tyler Ashcraft noticed instantly, and in that moment, the calm afternoon...
We got a TDI.
The suspect's flashy display of speed ended abruptly with a PT maneuver that sent the SUV spinning off the road. He tried to salvage his pride by sprinting on foot, but with officers already closing in, the run was short-lived. He was taken into custody and later faced a string of charges for his reckless choices. At the end of the day, his story became just another cautionary tale of someone who gambled with speed and lost to patience training and a steel bumper. The evening of April 6, 2024, brought a dangerous call across Georgia's interstate system. Troopers received a be on the lookout alert for a black Nissan Altima connected to a felony shoplifting case. The car was spotted traveling north on Interstate 75, weaving through lanes and accelerating to unsafe speeds as troopers tried to close in.
Gonna be on the right shoulder.
That's on the right shoulder.
Gonna be still on the right lane, going back over to the right shoulder.
I'm on the right lane, on the right shoulder.
Headed up towards the 228. Down the left lane.
Go left lane, 228.
Now going in the left lane.
Yeah, going past 237, going north, left lane.
They taking the 285. They taking 285. Get off at the 285.
Yeah, going to 285.
They just forced the car for officer to the shoulder. Still going towards 285, going west 285.
Yeah, go west, 285.
Pit, 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 pit. Pit, pit, pit. Start 52. Pit, 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 pit. Pit, pit, pit. Start 52. Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
When the pursuit finally came to an end, troopers discovered the driver identified as Haley Bott and her passenger Crystal King, both from Tennessee. Bott was hospitalized for injuries and later faced multiple charges related to fleeing false registration and felony shoplifting, while King was released to officers from Locust Grove Police for local charges. It was Tuesday, February 21st, 2023, when a black Dodge Charger decided to make Interstate 40 its personal racetrack. Conway police were the first to respond, but it didn't take long for the Arkansas State Police to step in. As the chase headed toward Crystal Hill, one trooper took the lead, but just as things were heating up, unexpected technical issues threw a wrench in the game plan. That moment marked a shift, and with speeds climbing and risks multiplying, the pressure was on to take control fast.
There's 40 east, 140, 152. 40 east, 152. East 90, we're on the left shoulder now. 390 left shoulder. Back Avenue, speeds 112. JFK, speeds 1.
Just when it looked like things couldn't escalate further, the pursuit veered into a stretch of road where strategy met opportunity. A calculated move brought the wild ride to a stop, but not in the way the driver hoped. Once the vehicle was disabled, the driver, later identified as Corey Simmons, bolted on foot, likely thinking he could outpace the law one last time. That sprint didn't last long. A brief struggle followed, ending only after a single well-placed strike convinced Simmons to give up the fight. After being checked by paramedics and cleared medically, he was hauled back to Faulkner County. Let this be a reminder: no amount of horsepower can outrun a bad decision. February 14th, 2024, a routine traffic stop exploded into a full pursuit that lit up neighborhood streets and busy intersections. What begins as officers approaching a vehicle quickly escalates as the driver bolts, weaving through traffic, almost striking a trooper and forcing units to react to protect civilians.
I'm gonna box him in. Get a tree.
The chase came to an end after a violent collision and a tense standoff. Troopers moved in, deployed a K-9, and took the driver into custody without further resistance. He now faces charges including assault on a law enforcement officer, with a vehicle fleeing and eluding, and reckless driving. For the troopers, it was just another night on duty. For the suspect, it was the end of the road and a hard lesson learned. It was a quiet Saturday morning on December 21st, 2024, until a white Nissan Maxima left a GameStop in West Memphis with more than just video games. Behind the wheel was 27-year-old Dennis Davis, and according to reports, he wasn't running solo. When troopers got the call, it wasn't just about stolen merchandise, it was about shutting down a potential theft ring on the move. What followed next turned a simple retail crime into a chaotic high-speed showdown. All three men, Dennis Davis, Davian Lawson, and Bobby Logwood, were arrested on the spot. The merchandise they tried to flee with recovered fully intact. Davis faces charges ranging from theft to reckless fleeing, while the two passengers joined him on drug paraphernalia and property charges. Sometimes the only high score you earn from a GameStop is the number of felony counts that follow you home. Late at night, on August 29, 2024, a call came in that made every officer on duty sit up straight. Reports of a white Jeep Compass tearing through the county, darting past cars, and ignoring every rule of the road. When Arkansas State Police Trooper David Smothers keyed up his radio, he knew this was not going to be just another traffic stop. Something about this one felt different, and it was.
TVI, they're rolling backwards. They're still rolling.
Okay, you want me to take the 74 or continue westbound?
When I put them in the ditch, all right, they're stopped.
When the dust settled, the scene was far from ordinary. Officers had wrestled with a female driver who refused to comply, screamed religious chants, and clung to her child while fighting tooth and nail against arrest. A taser finally broke the standoff, leaving her in custody, and officers nursing injuries from the struggle. It was the kind of case that leaves no doubt running from the law only makes a bad situation spiral even further out of control. On a rainy afternoon, a stolen truck barreled down a slick Arkansas roadway rainwater, pooling across the lanes like hidden traps. North Little Rock police were locked in pursuit, watching every swerve and splash from behind. It was the kind of chase where one bad move could send everything spinning out of control. The driver had no idea the stormy road was about to become his biggest enemy.
Channel 11063 for Lincoln 20 on 165.
The crash exposed even more trouble North Little Rock officers discovered a gun uncovered warrants and faced conflicting stories about who else might have been in the truck. A dog pulled from the wreck was thankfully unharmed. In the end, the suspects were hit with a mountain of charges including vehicle theft, fleeing reckless endangerment, firearm possession, and resisting arrest. A wet road turned their reckless run into a one-way ticket to jail. On April 10, 2025, a quiet afternoon in Zellwood, Florida, took an unexpected turn when Trooper C. Brinson tried to pull over a sleek white Genesis G70. At first, it looked like just another traffic stop outside a Circle K gas station. But in a heartbeat, the driver's choice flipped from routine to reckless setting off a chain of events that would put every motorist on edge. The driver, later identified as Sidney Paul Hayes, stepped out with his hands raised, but his troubles were only beginning. Inside the brown backpack he tossed away was a stash of marijuana, cocaine, cash, and drug paraphernalia, enough evidence to seal his fate. Charged with fleeing, hit-and-run drug trafficking and more, Hayes went from the driver's seat of a Genesis to a cell in Orange County Jail. Late on April 25, 2025, a Ford F-350 caught the attention of Arkansas State Police for a simple, expired plate. But what began as a routine stop turned disturbing when the truck suddenly veered into a cemetery, its tires tearing through gravestones under the dark sky. The chase that followed was anything but ordinary.
Headed into the graveyard. They just ran over some graves. Continuing the grave northbound. Try and get Baker 22 to get his drone up, or somebody get a drone up. Gonna be continuing the graveyard and moving westbound. Turn the hospital. Headed north. 30. Do I have anybody close to me? Westbound, still in the graveyard. Mile per hour. Right, so go south. Still in the cemetery, south.
Cemetery, where are you at?
Right here near Francis, where we entered. Looks like we're just going through the circle in the cemetery. Got to come back out on Francis. Looks like he just ran through it. Gonna be northbound. 39. We're going to be eastbound on 39 at Hayes Court, eastbound.
58 Little Rock, I'm primary. It's going to be a white 1-ton dually, single cab, business tags. We're going to be west on 11th Street, no traffic, speed's 55 miles an hour. He's dragging some metal, throwing sparks. South on Park Drive. We're going to be going back east on West 10th Street.
3258. I'm your Pike in 12.
On 11, continue northbound on Vestal.
Coming back east on 13th Street. North on Frank Street.
On Frank, come up to 15.
56, you know, stay up there ahead of him. See if you can get the spikes out. I don't need a bunch of units in the pursuit. Everybody else is stay support road. 32 on off. I'm going to be secondary. I'll follow. We're north on Franklin from 15. We had one stub TBI. North on Franklin. Fail TBI. East on 17, coming back up the Pike.
58 Little Rock, I've got a flat. I'm at 1022 here at the Circle K on Pike.
834 Little Rock, I'm getting back on 1022 here at the Circle K on Pike. 834 Little Rock, I'm getting back on JFK.
32 Little Rock out primary. Come on.
Approaching the railway front.
He just ran my unit.
Where are you?
Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Help me! Help me! Help me!
I'm getting out. I'm gonna get out of the car. Okay, open the door.
The pursuit crossed neighborhoods, parking lots, and wrong-way streets before ending with a violent crash into a telephone pole at the intersection of 18th Street and Shire. The driver, later identified as Larry York, refused to stop even after his passenger begged him to let her out. She told officers she feared for her life as York blamed her for the entire chase. He was taken into custody facing felony fleeing, reckless driving, and more, his path of destruction leaving behind broken stone and broken trust. It was October 25th, 2022, just after 9 in the evening, when Michigan State Police troopers spotted a vehicle at a gas station in Saginaw County. At first glance, it was just another car refueling, until they recognized the driver as a suspect wanted for assault, with intent to murder out of Bay County. The man behind the wheel, Greg Atwood, had no intention of surrendering quietly.
Crash out. Oh, wait, breathe. Going north on Adams. I don't want to fit him with
North on Adams.
ourselves. Let's get a second car here.
Can you get a hold of SBSU?
His car is
Already
damaged.
dead.
I can't tell if that
Did go on the dead. She is.
still north.
Nothing.
We're past that. That was his rim, I just said. Coming up the River Road. Copy. Pratt 33.
I copy at 33. You're broken.
Moderate traffic. Coming up to 6.
Copy.
Coming up to 6.
Coming up to 6.
Speed's 100.
At 100.
I don't know what he's doing, so watch. Oh, keep locking him up.
45, it's your call. Going into the city like that.
Watch out! It failed. Which street we're on? can. Going west on 24th by Webster.
West on 24th near Webster.
Hitting at 24th River.
24th and River.
Still going. Going the wrong way on River. Good.
Wrong way on River. Northbound River.
Passing 21st.
Passing 21st.
Speed still 100.
At 100.
Those kilometers. Yes, they were. 80 miles an hour. Crash. He's crashing out. Into a house.
Yeah.
He went through a house. He just went through a house.
Copy, went through a house. Where are you? Garfield, south of Columbus.
When troopers lit him up, Atwood floored it, tearing through local roads before losing control and crashing straight into the side of a house. A perimeter was locked down while the emergency support team arrived and extracted him using the jaws of life. Atwood was hospitalized, then handed over to Bay County deputies. Attempted murder, felony, fleeing, property damage. The list of charges was as heavy as the house he drove into. Past midnight on October 3rd, 2024, an Arkansas state trooper attempted to stop a Harley-Davidson motorcycle for speeding. Instead of slowing down, the rider twisted the throttle and shot forward, setting off a pursuit that pushed both man and machine to their limits. Every turn of the wheel brought a new brush with disaster as the bike began to wobble at over 110 miles per hour.
Taking the 2B. Occupied one time. Right.
We're going the wrong way towards University. That's my LAPD.
Y'all back off just a little bit. I'm gonna get him right here. Hey, you don't get to drive the wrong way, and then bitch whenever you get arrested. Hey, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not bitch. Consequences suck, huh? I ain't got no business, man.
The rider, identified as Calvin DeMarcos Hinton, was ultimately captured and charged with multiple offenses, including felony fleeing driving on a suspended license and reckless driving. His dangerous run ended safely for all involved, but it served as a stark warning of how quickly control can vanish at those speeds. Even a Harley can't outrun accountability. July 10th, 2025 began with one man making a series of choices that would spiral into chaos. Behind the wheel of a Chevy Blazer, Dustin Kirkendall was already wanted for more than just bad driving. By the time Arkansas State Police joined the chase, he had turned Interstate 40 into a high-speed stage where every second brought more danger. Nobody knew how far he was willing to push it.
66 foot roll, 237.
When it finally ended, the driver was identified as 37-year-old Dustin Kirkendall. Officers discovered open containers and narcotics tied to his wild run, confirming he was under the influence. The chaos left 2 officers contaminated with his blood, forcing an unexpected hospital visit. One night, 2 PIT maneuvers and 1 suspect whose arrogance turned Interstate 40 into his personal circus. On May 10, 2023, law enforcement agencies from across Florida joined forces to intercept 2 suspects believed to be behind a string of vehicle burglaries spanning from Orlando to Tampa. When a traffic stop was attempted, the pair fled, sparking a multi-county pursuit.
1031, 1046 traffic, 1436 hours.
Give them some room for Wes.
10-4, 90 miles an hour.
Bad man.
Lost left rear tire. He wrecked out over the median. Still southbound.
That's more wrecked a tire, full southbound. Number 93 miles an hour, outside lane. He's slowing down. At 93 miles an hour, outside lane, vehicle slowing down. 66 miles an hour, inside lane. At inside lane. He's slowing down.
Bro, what the fuck's going on?
93 miles an hour, outside lane, vehicle slowing down.
Jesus.
66 miles an hour.
What in the
Inside lane.
fuck are you guys doing, man?
Inside lane. Is that trooper down underneath? They can stop traffic in the intersection. Yeah, traffic stop at the intersection.
On May 15, 2024, the morning traffic in Little Rock looked ordinary enough until a flash of yellow caught the eye of an Arkansas state trooper. A Dodge Challenger was weaving across lanes like the rules of the road were optional. Behind the wheel was 31-year-old Aaron Sadler, a man about to turn a routine traffic stop into something far bigger. What started as a simple violation was about to test nerves, patience, and a whole lot of asphalt. By the end, Sadler was pulled from the chaos with a backpack that told its own story, pounds of marijuana, bottles of promethazine, and packets of THC treats. Officers also found nearly $4,000 stuffed in his pocket, the kind of stash that made his motives crystal clear. He left behind broken property, a damaged car, and a long list of charges that would follow him long after the tow truck hauled his Challenger away. On March 2, 2024, Florida Highway Patrol troopers attempted to stop a stolen Mustang racing through the streets at high speeds. The suspect refused to pull over, weaving through traffic and forcing other drivers off the road as troopers maintained pursuit. The chase ended in a spectacular crash that left the Mustang destroyed and the driver in custody. Authorities confirmed charges of grand theft of a motor vehicle, driving while license suspended as a habitual offender, fleeing and eluding, and drug possession. What began as a stolen car joyride ended with serious charges and a crushed Mustang